Welcome to the Shared Practices podcast. This is an in-between episode between seasons. So we just wrapped up a case acceptance season 4, and we're going in a different direction for this next season. But in the meantime, we're taking a little break from our normal structured, only focusing on one type of content episode. This is a marketing episode. And how this came to be was that last week was an interview with Dr. Bruce Baird from Productive Dentist Academy. And they came to Indianapolis, and Vicki McManus Peterson, who's the CEO and co-founder of Productive Dentist Academy, she was teaching there, and I had wanted to interview her, get her story, get her opinions on case acceptance. And one of the ideas that we had was maybe we could do a breakout session. So at PDA, they break the whole course into different groups. So the front desk team members go in one area, the assistants go in another area, the hygienists go in another area, and the docs go learn together. And she was leading this group. And one of the things that we talked about was marketing. We wrote up a bunch of questions, and we went through those questions. And if you don't know who Vicki McManus Peterson is, that would be surprising to me. But she is amazing. She has written a book called Frustration: Breakfast of Champions, which I need to check. I'm going to go check right now if that's on Audible. And if it is, I'm going to download it right now because I have a credit, and then I'll put the link in the show notes as well. She's, like I said, CEO and co-founder of Productive Dentist Academy. She was involved in Pack Live with Dr. David Hornbrook back in the day. She trained and taught with Tony Robbins, and really just is one of those people that brings so much energy and excitement and education and value every time that she gets up and speaks or shares or is on a podcast anywhere. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Vicki McManus. One of the advantages of working with Blue Sky Bio's implants is that if you're already familiar with a given system, whether it's Nobel Active, Nobel Replace, Zimmer, Straumann, Astra, it's really easy to make the switch because you're very comfortable and familiar with that system. You have the drills, you've placed those implants before. But what if you're new to either implants in general or to Blue Sky Bio and you haven't used any of those specific lines? Which one of the 6 lines of Blue Sky Bio implants would you choose? Which is a great question. So let's go back to the Facebook forums. The overall consensus, hands down, is the BioMax line, which is the Nobel Active compatible system, but with a narrow platform, single platform across all of the different implants. Meaning, if you go up in size, you keep the platform the same. What this does is it simplifies your inventory, makes life so much easier. So people were saying, can you get locators for BioMax? And boom, locators, we got locators. How about scanning? If you want to scan this into CEREC, take a Ti-Base NBA 4.5, and that's it. That one Ti-Base will work for all sizes of the BioMax line. And then the advice when it comes to actually placing the BioMax line of implants is to place them just slightly subcrestal to give yourself room to get that emergence profile and the aesthetics and everything looking just right. So if you were hesitant to try out the Blue Sky Bio implants because of the plethora of options, you were just overwhelmed as to where to start, that is the hands down consistent number one choice of clinicians who are placing and restoring these implants in their offices. BioMax by Blue Sky Bio. I'm here with Vicki McManus at a Productive Dentist Academy event, and we're doing this live in front of a class. And so we've compiled a list of questions about marketing for you, Vicki. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Okay, so we're going to go through these rapid fire, some awesome marketing questions here. So the first one was a question about review services. You can pay a company that will then ask your patient for reviews via text and email. What has been your experience with these services?
I think there are several services that work really great. Google is kind of clamping down on some of these, so really vet them out well. If you have an internal patient communication program and like Solution Reach or Lighthouse, some of those, you actually can do your reviews through there,
okay,
right? And they will pop up. Whatever one you use, here's the key to it. Number one, it's by text because people really don't go on their desktop and do email reviews. So it's text and it's hitting them almost as if they're getting in their car or like it's top of mind. So it's speed, and it's the vehicle that it goes through is texting.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the one that we've had some recent experience with on our show, my co-host George signed up for Swell CX, and they're like a third of the price of Podium, but they send out the text in the evening when the patients are home at like 7 p.m.
Nice.
And they even found that when the time zone shifted, and in Arizona the time zone doesn't shift, that it suddenly dropped. And once they let the company know, hey, our time zone shifted, but Arizona didn't shift, and they switched the timing of when that text went out to patients, the reviews bumped back up.
Oh, that's really cool. You just taught me something.
Well, and
I like it.
It's something that a lot of people have tried, and there's a lot of great companies out there, but it's the difference between getting one review a week and maybe one review a day type thing. So.
Well, tell me what you're seeing. My old rules were you want to get at least 50 reviews. That's kind of like a moat around your practice, so that when the one bad review comes up, it kind of gets swallowed up in the sea.
Yeah.
One bad review is only horrible if you have 2 reviews.
Right.
Right. And you want to keep them coming in every month, because Google is starting to drop older reviews. So it's an ongoing, it's a natural part of your business from now on.
Well, it's part of the SEO, is part of the strategy. And I think Paul Etchison's office, I think they have like 600 reviews. Is that right? Yeah, it's a ton.
Yeah.
So, but I think he uses Podium. I can't remember which one he uses, but they work, and they go out and patients respond. So, did that answer the question about the review services? Cool. Okay. So, team involvement in marketing. How do you get team members engaged with, on board, pioneering marketing, rather than it have to be doctor-driven and something that you're pushing and thinking about?
Yeah. Okay. That's a big topic. So to give you the bullet points of it, number 1, marketing is everything, right? Marketing is everything. So step 1 on team involvement in marketing is wow customer service, right? And creating the buzz within the practice so that it's going out into the community. So that's number 1, is make sure that they are really patient-centric, that they are customer service driven, and really invest time and money in training your team that way. Number 2 is asking for referrals, asking for testimonials, helping the patients understand why it's important to do reviews. These are all internal things that you do that then go out into the marketplace and have a big impact. Making sure you work your reactivation system. I know this doesn't sound like marketing, but if you're spending money getting 100 patients through the front door and you're losing 85 in the back door, you are so wasting your money. So I always say marketing is from the inside out. So shut the back door, own your practice, own your street, own your block, own your city, own your county. This is how we help doctors go further and further out. So then once they get out of the office, right? We've secured the back door, and now you want them to go into the community. There are so many fabulous things that your team can do. Things that you really don't want to do, like the chamber meetings, the Lions clubs, the Rotary clubs. You have team members that love public speaking. Give them a PowerPoint about the oral systemic connection. Take them to places that women might hang out, maybe into Lamaze classes, maybe into different women's groups, church groups, school groups, things like that. Your team really loves being an ambassador for your practice if you arm them well. Right? If you arm them well. We've also had clients who deploy moms in their practice. So they will set up tables at soccer fields and booster clubs, and do some free work for them or pay them a little bit of money. They will take your message into the schools if you're really working to attract families. So you can deploy some of your patients as part of your marketing team, or your team wants to go out there. We typically recommend that you have at least 2 community events a year. Okay. So depending on the size, if it's a huge patient appreciation party, something like that, once a year, you become known for that. You tent up the parking lot and you flip flapjacks or do hot dogs, or, and you have the balloon house. It's just a community party. That's a really big event that takes the whole year to plan. So I would probably only do one other event if I was doing that, and space them about 6 months apart. You can do lots of smaller events too. If there are, one of the greatest ones was Blue Cross Blue Shield has one of my clients, their one of their headquarters was near them. So every year they had a health fair, and the hygienist and the office manager who did new patient coordination would go to the big company health fairs, and they would do oral cancer exams, they do education, they would do things like that. Got a ton of patients that way. Or go into bridal shows if you're in a large city and they have the convention halls with the big bridal shows, things like that. That used to be popular. I'm not sure how that goes. If they like parades, okay, I had offices in Wisconsin, and this was crazy, but it worked. They actually have a UFO parade. Like, I think they thought there was a UFO spotted there in the 60s, so they've been having a parade about this crazy stuff ever since. And so people like dress up their cars in UFOs and things like that. So they had a little golf cart. They put it like the Molar Mobile and were throwing out floss and vampire teeth. Got tons of goodwill out of that. So have fun. Let them get involved in the planning of it. Be in parades, march, do fairs, do schools, do corporate events. There's lots of ways to get into the community.
One I just heard recently was a dentist who she partnered with the businesses up and down the strip mall where she worked.
Yes.
And so her office was there. I think there was a Nothing Bundt Cakes, and they had like a new patient special where she bought like for 75 cents per little mini Bundt cake. And then they would give out like a coupon. And so it was like she had art from the local artists in the area. So just all these different ways with businesses in the area to get creative.
Oh, yeah. This is a really cool idea. You know how you give out goodie bags to your patients? If you can put enough certificates from surrounding businesses in your goodie bag that match or exceed the cleaning cost, your patients love you. So we partner with a car wash. So you got a free car wash. They would get French fries at McDonald's. They would get like the Bundt cake. So keep collecting these. Patients really like, oh, I wonder what they're going to put in my goodie bag today. So it's not just kids who like the toy box. You know, adults do too. So see how you can partner with your small businesses, get a 2-for-1 dinner at restaurants, things like that, and put it in your ReCare bags.
Okay. I think that was awesome. So next question we had here was comprehensive care versus general dentistry.
Yes.
Marketing for that. And then also within that, if you have a practice that we have some large practices here that have multiple specialists.
Yes.
How do we market for the ortho that's going on in this office and the pedo that's going on in this office and the train wreck cases? How do you balance all of that?
That is going to take some planning.
Sure.
It really does. It takes planning. Now you're getting into the level of brand management, right? So you're really, especially if you've got multiple doctors, multiple specialists, you want to really understand the brand and what you want to be known for. So one of the things you want to be known for is comprehensive care under one roof, right? And so if I'm marketing for a fee-for-service practice and I'm marketing for comprehensive care, I might use topics like no insurance, no problem. Right? That automatically tells you you're looking for that non-insured patient. That's something that works there. You're looking for convenience. So you might target, even if you're still in the mom club, like, you know, for every kid, there's 2 adults. So you can say family hours, right? Family appointment scheduling, things like that. The one thing, though, if you're really trying to exclude that insurance element from it, you're still going to have some type of financial options for the patients. So membership plans are becoming very, very popular right now, and there's several iterations. I think those are going to come on stronger. And the typical one right now is you pay an annual fee, you get a couple of cleanings a year, and a courtesy on prepaying or financing your dental treatment. So that's a typical kind of management marketing membership plan. I would love a membership plan that rewards the patient when they're healthy. So when you complete your care, then you can join our wellness club, right? And it moves you more into concierge medicine. So once you've completed all your restorative, for $500 a year, you get everything. You get 4 cleanings a year, you get top shelf service, you get priority with emergency, you get everything. And so it's an opt-in once you're well, which could also encourage comprehensive care. If I'm have the specialist and I'm targeting implants, I'm going to market for implants, you know. Clear Choice, I don't care how you feel about the company, they got some really great marketing, and what they market is lifestyle. They market the benefit of having the procedure done. You don't get in there, you don't see their TV commercials talking about the metal allergy of their titanium, implants. They're not explaining the procedure. They're saying this is a real guy who had some issues. They delayed the treatment. Wait, there's always a sob story, right? It's like meet Bob. Bob's a trucker. Bob had some teeth. He was too busy to get his work done. And Bob said, boy, my teeth hurt. And now they don't. I went in and they don't hurt. So they're looking about speed. Seems to be the implant conversation right now, the all-in-4, the same-day smile. So speed is really important right now in fee-for-service, and that it's comprehensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. As we've worked with Design Ergonomics, I've actually gotten to know the founder of Design Ergonomics, Dr. David Ahern. He's a dentist, practicing dentist, still practicing to this day, despite the many companies that he's running. One of the things that I love about him is that he is obsessed with improving the flow and productivity of offices. And he has delved deep into the research inside of dentistry and outside of dentistry, and actually done a lot of experimentation and research on his own. They've found that the flow and layout of your practice can help make anxious patients more comfortable and can make patients in general more willing to accept treatment. They've found studies that have shown that requiring a buyer to move from one location to another during the decision process has a negative impact. So we present treatment in the chair, and then we take them to the front desk, and they've found that decreases case acceptance. So to address this, Design Ergo creates operatories that are both comfortable and fully able to present treatment, take payment, and schedule procedures. This is just one aspect of the patient experience that Design Ergonomics has figured out and bakes into their project development and the layout of your office. So if you're doing a startup and have complete control over the patient experience and the flow of your office, well, why not work with a team who cares about all of these things, who's done the research, and who has done it over and over and over in very high-producing, very successful offices? Reach out to Design Ergonomics. Go to www.desergo.com. We've arranged for exclusive discounts on a wide variety of services, so be sure to let them know that you're a Shared Practices listener. So, and this next part, did we answer all of that with kind of the marketing and breaking that down by procedure? Okay. We had this next one, is that patient confusion? What is that next line?
Oh, prevent confusion.
Prevent confusion, and then that's right here. I think we got that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So the next one was testimonials. So we have the scenario where some patients were willing to come in and do video testimonials for a practice, which is awesome. But we're a little bit worried about how they're going to talk about the practice, about what they're going to say, and if, it's going to be usable video. If you're setting up this time and you're hiring someone to come in or you're asking them to come in, you want to end up with something you could post on the website and be really proud of.
Yes.
How do you go about the logistics of video testimonials and getting the most out of those? How do you prompt your patient?
Yeah, I love that question. It's like, how do you keep them from chatting on too much? Well, number one, don't invite chatty people to do your testimonial. I know that's just too obvious. But you really do want to pick that patient that's got the compelling story, right? The one that has the compelling story that fits your compelling story, okay? So if the compelling story is patient loyalty, let's say that that's a theme, you're going to want to pick a patient that perhaps moved away but still comes back to your practice, right? My wife said when we move, there's two things we're going to have to come back for, the hairdresser and the dentist. That's a great, compelling patient loyalty story. It trains your patient that you create long-term relationships, right? You also want to pick patients that have had the procedure that you want to promote. So if you want to promote smile design, all-in-4, same-day dentistry, sleep apnea, sedation dentistry, choose patients that have gone through that procedure and are naturally telling the story to others. So the patient, it's really easy. The patient that comes in and says, "Oh, Dr. Claire, I have told all my friends about you. Would you mind? Oh my gosh, you did? I'm so honored. I'm so thrilled. Do you know that we have people calling every single day that go on our website and ask us if we do that? Would you be willing to share your story So that's why I don't ask them for a testimonial, because that feels a little artificial. Would you be willing to share your story? We have so many patients that come in that are afraid or that just don't know. And it's so much better if it could come from someone like you. Would you be willing to share your story? And they're like, of course, right? They're so flattered. They're so honored.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Okay. So the next one was invite your
your best patients.
Your best stories. Okay. So then grassroots. So just other ideas, we touched on this a little bit earlier. For grassroots marketing, say that someone's either scrappy or someone's done some of this in the past and they want to do more of it. Any other ideas that you can think of?
I really can't overemphasize your own personal involvement in the community. So if you're a dentist, I really love it if you happen to align, you live where you want to live because you love the people there. If that works out for you, that's fantastic. And I would leverage it to the hilt. So be active in your community. If you like boating, be in the boating community. If you like wines, join a wine club. If you like skiing, join a ski club, because birds of a feather flock together. So chances are, if you're with a group of people doing things that you like to do, they're going to value the things that you value, and they're going to know people who have that same value structure. So whether it's through church or sports or all of that kind of stuff, be involved. It's sometimes we're with people all day long, and the last thing we want to do is go be with people all night or all weekend. But really plan your calendar. Look at the things that line up. So that's a grassroots effort that the doctor can do. The other is, you already mentioned it, is discover the small business owners there that have 25 to 50 employees and be a resource for them. Right? Be a resource for them, especially if you're like, let's say you're a scratch start practice and you want to expand from 2 days to 3 days to 4 days. And right now you're working Monday, Tuesday, but you're working your second job. Find those small business leaders, introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm going to start opening up about 4 weeks from now. I'm going to open up Thursdays for companies just like yours. And I would love it. Here's my thing. Here's this promotion I would do for your employees, but they would have to schedule on a Thursday. And they will say, fantastic. And now you've booked up your third day. So once you've gone for 2 days, you could pick your third day and you could go to the small business leader. So it moves you out of the shotgun marketing more into some targeting business marketing.
Well, and just to take a step back here, if we're doing something with the ski club or the wine club, does that mean that's a write-off at that point? Just get back to our business.
Check with your CPA, but yes, I think it is.
There we go.
I think dues and memberships, to whatever extent that they're deductible for you,
There we go.
Totally legit.
2 for 1.
Totally legit.
Last question here to wrap this up. This has been awesome. So say that an associate is coming into an office and they're a little bit worried about transferring that relationship from the old doctor to them now as the new associate. What's the way that they can almost use this as a marketing event, use this as a opportunity rather than like, oh crap, we're switching to a new dentist, how's this going to go?
Yeah. Again, I go back to the team piece of it, right? So marketing is everything. The first place I would market myself would be to the team. Because once the team believes in you, then the patients believe in you. So if possible, find out from the owner before you even come into practice who on the team has outstanding dental needs, right? And then find a way to do some work on them, right? Somebody's been wanting to have a filling, but they just haven't had time to work it in. Who's on the waiting list for their care? And let the associate doctor work on the team. And that's a good quality control for both sides, right? Because the team will go back to the owner doctor and go, oh my God, the new guy's a nightmare. Get him out of here. You want to hear that before your patients hear that. Oh my God, her injections are horrible, right? So now the owner doctor has areas to mentor the associate and make sure those don't show up with the patient. So I would say find a way to work on your team. Make your team your biggest advocate. And this is going to sound so silly, but smile. Associate doctors need to come in and smile. You're so nervous. You're worried about whether people are going to like you or not. And I've seen Bruce do it 1,000 times because he's had 1,000 associates, right? He's like, dude, you got to smile and treat her nice, because the way you treat the team is a real good indication of how you treat the patient. Now, in terms of collateral material to introduce the associate, I think it's very important that you make an announcement about that. I'd have countertop displays that have a photo of the current doctor with the associate, please help us welcome Dr. Allison to our practice. I would put it on the website. Please help us welcome Dr. Allison to our practice, get to know her, and really write up a good bio. Don't write up your resume of where you went to school and how many A++s you got. Nobody really cares about that. You got a license. You're a dentist. But say a little bit about, what is your passion? Why did you become a dentist? What is it that you hope for with your patients? What do you love to do in your spare time? Let the patients get to know you a little bit. So seeing you linked with the owner doctor, putting it out on countertop displays, having messaging through the team about who you are, and then the owner doctor really supporting it. Here's some phrases for the owner doctors. I interviewed so many dentists before I hired Dr. Allison. I wanted to make sure we found absolutely the most perfect fit for our practice and our patients. So really build each other up that way. Then newspaper announcements, online announcements, press releases really help to build their credibility. Display their diplomas in their operatory or in the hallway where they can be seen. So you want this wall of authority that helps to also show the patients, if you've got any awards, bring them out of the closet, frame it, really spend some money on the framing there to kind of pull through those notes of authority and respect and confidence. Did that help you? Is that
perfect?
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting 3 thumbs up from the new associates. I like that.
I don't know how that's possible. Don't they only have 2? No, we're good.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, sorry. With that dad joke to wrap it up, thank you so much for coming on the show and for letting us do a little podcast in the middle of a PDA event. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, that was a ton of fun. A little different. Hopefully, we were able to kind of, the logistics of doing a podcast in a room with other people there. Hopefully you guys didn't feel like left out or awkward, but I really, really enjoyed that. So, and we will have to get Vicky back on. There's other people from Productive Dentist Academy, pretty much everyone involved with PDA. I really enjoy just talking with and being with, and the energy and the fact, like, you can just tell that they care about people, which is not always true. Like, when you go take a course, you don't get an inherent sense that, like, these people care about me and they, like, want to know about me, not for any other reason other than, they enjoy being with people and they enjoy serving. They enjoy helping dentists become more productive. So really, really would encourage you to go to productivedentist.com, check out everything Productive Dentist Academy has to offer, including their podcast. And Vicky has her own show. I'm pulling it up right here. Everyday Practices with Vicki McManus Peterson and Dr. Chad Johnson. So we will talk with you guys next week on the Shared Practices podcast.